Participating in a congress, an international one, even if it's a student one, presenting my own, or our own project about cytomegalovirus. I will have to say that that's science fiction.
I don't say it's only the scientific work that is actually really nice in Bialystok. It's as well like the small community that we're living in, and the English division that we can actually really appreciate, that we have different sports clubs, activities done, for example, in anatomy, where we can do outside school.
It's also very cool that this university is in a palace, a very historical place. The entire medical campus is placed very closely to each other, so it's very simple to just get around by bike.
And we have a very close community of the students, so it's easy to find friends as well.
European University gave me a chance to discover myself by interacting with people of different origins. We are about relationships. Relationships between teachers and students who help each other with research projects, conferences which help us to expand our co-curricular knowledge. We have a new building for the medical faculty. We have the latest smart classes which help us with our lectures. We have practicals running daily which help us retain our theoretical knowledge.
The most distinguishing feature about the university that stands out the most to me is the supportive nature of the staff. We have nice libraries with huge collection of books. We have smart classrooms and a cafeteria in which all the students can go and take a break.
The city of Novi Sad is located in the lush fertile flatlands in the north of Serbia along the Danube River. Opposite to the Fruška Gora mountain and national park, the city is situated on both banks of the Danube. Located opposite to the scenic Petrovaradin fortress, Faculty of Medicine of the University of Novi Sad, a modern education and biomedical research center, was founded 56 years ago. The Faculty of Medicine is located outside university campus, but nearby the affiliated teaching hospitals. The 56th faculty anniversary was celebrated on June 18, 2016. A number of students took part in the first aid competition, showing their practical skills, whereas the best students, teachers and researchers were awarded for their hard work, excellence and skills in order to continue their activities in health promotion in our community. An impressive number of teaching hospitals, a total of 34, take part in the work of the Faculty of Medicine Novi Sad all over Vojvodina. All of these teaching bases and institutes, depending on their specialty, implement the activities at all study levels, in Serbian and English, and are, as a rule, the institutions that care about the health of patients by applying cutting-edge technologies and therapies. These are modern health institutions ready to provide all modern diagnostic and therapeutic procedures to their patients. Cooperation with international institutions through various projects is also being implemented. Welcome to the Faculty of Medicine Novi Sad. To you and our patients, knowledge for health. Teachers and employees of the Faculty of Medicine Novi Sad.
Tbilisi Medical Academy, TMA, is situated in the heart of the capital of Georgia, preparing students to serve their communities all around the world. Georgia is the fourth safest country in the world and the safest country in Europe. Competence-based medical education, CBME, is a key feature of our curriculum, which implies that the learning outcomes of the curriculum are formulated in such a way that the students are exposed to theoretical knowledge, practical skills implementation, and important medical values. Our students gain practical experience in 30 leading clinics in Georgia. The Academy has established the Student Curriculum Committee with a purpose to support and nurture students as necessary. The Academy offers students a variety of exchange programs at European universities, in conjunction with relevant clinical rotations, clerkships at various hospitals around the world. Our students are ready to save lives and serve their communities all around the world.
Good evening. good afternoon, good morning to you, wherever you're joining us from. Welcome to Medlink Students. It's our third webinar of the year. We're going to explore the path that lies ahead and really provide you with all the essential insights to help you navigate the world of medicine and dentistry abroad. Now, first and foremost, congratulations on choosing such a noble and rewarding career. You know, medicine is a field that combines science, compassion, and a genuine desire to help others. So throughout the webinar, we will shed light on the key aspects of your journey, aiming to inspire and equip you with all the knowledge that you need to begin this journey. All right, so let's get started. First, let me introduce myself. Now, I'm Edmund. I'm one of the student advisors here. Now, my work over the years has been guiding and supporting students throughout their medical journey and dental journey abroad. And I've helped thousands and thousands of students begin their path in becoming doctors and dentists, and some are working back in the UK, some have gone to other countries to practice. Now, we are joined tonight by a few of our specialists who will be talking during the webinar. Now, first, we're joined by Tom, who is a beacon of knowledge as one of our senior student advisors. With his years of experience, Tom has helped thousands and thousands of students pursue their dream course abroad. Now, next, we have yours truly, and I'll be hosting tonight. You're already familiar with me. We're also joined by our remarkable Dana, who's another senior student advisor, whose expertise has surpassed not only by her passion, but her commitment to helping you study abroad, which makes her really an invaluable asset to our Medlink Students family. Now, we also have Victoria, who's an extraordinary member of our admissions team. She has a keen eye to detail and really ensuring that your application has everything that is needed for your acceptance into your chosen university. And last but not the least, we are joined by some of our brave students who are here to share their experiences with you. Now, I'm told that some of them are actually in exam mode, but they've actually decided to spend their evening with us. So we're honored to have them share their experiences and stories with you. Now, as we move along, you might want to catch up on this later. Now, what you could do is just scan a copy or scan the screen, and you should receive a copy of tonight's webinar, the slides. Now, if you're not able to scan, just click the button underneath the QR scanner, and you'll be able to get access to a free ebook that you can go through later. So tonight, we're going to be going through the ethos of who we are. Now, from there, we'll also cover some of the great benefits of studying abroad, where you not only expand your horizons, but you immerse yourself culturally. A pivotal topic that we will actually discuss is the current state of the medical and dental realm in the UK. We'll also go over the ever-growing competition and how many international doctors are now actually coming back here to work. But why stop there? We'll also cover what it's like to study in Europe, medicine or dentistry. And we know that financial considerations are usually essential for some of our students. So we'll go over some of the various tuition fees and the living costs. We'll also talk about important questions that we're asked on a daily basis, the admissions requirements. We'll go over the medical and dental schools out there in Europe, how we can help you. There will also be some time, don't worry, for some Q&A. And because we know you will have lots of questions, just be sure to write them in the Q&A section of the Zoom during the webinar. Now, we've come a very, very long way. And behind every triumph, there is really often an individual who has displayed great courage in taking that first step in changing their lives, simply because they also had a dream. And to tell you about our story, I want to invite Tom to join us and tell you about how it all started for us. Tom?
Thank you, Edmund. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all excited to hear from the students and learn a little bit more. I know I've got a lot of people that are tuning in this evening hoping to get more of an insight. So to those of you out there, I hope this is really good for you and really informative. Yeah, of course, this is a question that we get asked so many times. Who is Medlink Students? Now, as an organization, we actually started from what a lot of you are going to find a very relatable beginning. Now, just over 10 years ago, things did not look like they were today. Not so many people went to study abroad. If they didn't get into medicine or they didn't get into dentistry, they'd think, no, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm going to go and study something else. Maybe I'm going to keep applying and see how I get on. This was the same thought process for our founders. At the time, they were just students. They'd finished A-levels or they'd finished a bachelor's degree in the UK, and they weren't sure what to do because they kept trying to apply to get into the UK medical schools, but it was just so difficult. And as I said back then, it was a very different situation abroad, and that's because not many people did it. And of course, there's that fear of the unknown. Is it recognized if I go abroad? Is the quality good? Do they teach in English? Do they know how to teach in English in Europe, where they all speak different languages? These were a lot of the concerns of them initially, but they were so desperate and so passionate to become doctors and dentists that they decided, whatever happens, happens. This is our choice. We're going to commit to it and we're going to do it. So they decided they were going to apply. They were going to go and take themselves abroad. And what they did is exactly that. They applied and they went through a grueling application process. Some of them did not get the application right the first time, had to wait a whole year to then apply again. They found it so difficult. And the question they kept asking themselves was, why is there no one here? Why is there no type of organization? Like in the UK, our UK students will know we have UCAS, for example, that obviously make the whole process between you and the university very straightforward. But there's nothing like that when it came to going abroad. At least there wasn't back then. And so they decided, when they successfully got into medical school, that they were going to start an organization that was going to help students. Now, initially, this was just about helping through the admissions. But then what they realized is actually students need help when they're on the ground too. And throughout their years, they need support. They need someone there who can guide them, who can mentor them when they require it. And so over the years, this service built into what it is now. And we're now an organization that's run by a team of doctors who have all gone through the same path that you're considering to go through now. And they had a lot of success doing it, and they want to see as many of you have that same success. We'll go into obviously the services that we provide in a lot more depth later on in the presentation, but that was just to give you a brief idea. Okay, and moving on from there then, this is what our team consists of now. So of course I mentioned the doctors themselves. You've also got myself, Edmund, and you'll see a bit later on my colleague Dana. We are leading as advisors, and there are a few of us as part of the advising team. Obviously, it's our job to help you try and find the most suitable university options abroad. From there, you've then got our admissions team. These are specific admissions teams to the different countries that we work with. They're the real experts when it comes to writing a perfect application for you, maximizing your chances of getting your space. And then, of course, the on-ground support, who are there to aid and assist you when you've actually gone over to the country and you're trying to settle in and thrive over there. Okay, back to you, Edmund.
Thank you so much, Tom. And as Tom was saying, we are actually here to help you, students, or if you're a parent watching, with all the information that you need to make an informed decision, because this is a big step. And of course, if you choose to start your journey abroad with us, we'll proudly say that we'll be with you every step of the way. Now, I'd like to invite Dana, who will now delve in the exceptional benefits when you choose to study medicine or dentistry abroad. And she also shed some light on the countless ways that you can seize these opportunities. Dana?
Thank you, Edmund, and good evening to everyone. So exciting to see how many students are so passionate to learn more about their options, who are keen on achieving their dreams. So good evening, everyone. And as you are students and looking into studying in Europe, and we've helped so many students go to Europe before. So after speaking to these students, we've managed to understand what are the things that students love about Europe. And today I will tell you a little bit about the main or most popular advantages of going to Europe. And as you can see at the bottom of the screen here, while I speak about them, one of the main advantages is affordable tuition fees. In Europe, universities have tuition fees that are very reasonable and affordable, where it gives the chance to every single person who has a dream of becoming a doctor to be able to study medicine, achieve their dream, and not have financial burdens or worry about expenses, because the fees are very affordable. We have a slide later on to show you more details about the fees. Another very popular advantage of Europe is the quality of education. You can study medicine at a very high quality of education and experience the practical, the clinical years in a very well studied way by the university, in addition to enjoying the international environment in the university. You can meet students from all over the world, get to experience learning about new cultures. And another very popular advantage is the admission requirements. Europe has quite flexible admission requirements, where sometimes we have students that don't have biology in their high school. Can you please move to the next slide so we can see them? So some universities would have an interview where we can help you prepare for. Some universities might have an entrance exam to test your basic knowledge in biology and chemistry. And you can get to study medicine, graduate with a globally recognized degree that allows you to work in Europe. Some students want to work in UK. So the degree is quite globally recognized. And of course, a very popular thing that students a lot ask about is, what are the courses language? Even though the country's language, local language is not English, you will get to study medicine in an English language, fully taught in English, and you will be learning the local language throughout the course to help you adapt in a new city. And another great advantage is returning home to practice. You can go study medicine in Europe and you will be able to go back to your home country to work as a doctor, practice medicine or dentistry. And the variety is another advantage students like about Europe, is because you can apply to universities in different countries. You can apply to 2 universities or 3 universities in the same country. But of course, we will have our team here to guide you and advise you which universities you will have the highest chance to be accepted in, and we will guide you by preparing you to the entrance exams. And last but not least, here you will see the modern facilities. The universities are very well equipped. They have modern facilities where students get to enjoy and love their experience while they study on campus. And we will see more details about the university facilities too. So basically, these are the main advantages of studying in Europe.
Thank you so much, Dana, for explaining the great reasons why more and more students are choosing this path. Now, it's not just about the great reasons and the reasons why most students tend to go abroad. There's a lot more to it. And it's becoming increasingly competitive and really difficult every year to actually gain admission in the UK, especially. And I talk to thousands of students every year, and this, a lot of them have tried so many times. Now, I'd like to invite back Tom, who will enlighten you guys about the current state of the medical and really dental education here in the UK. And he will also share with you how the medical and dental courses are actually structured and some of the graduate programs that you can take advantage of. Tom?
Yes, absolutely. Some scary figures for you all to see here. As you can see, throughout the years, the amount of applicants and also the amount of reapplicants in the UK has gone up dramatically, year on year on year. It's an age-old saying in applying to medicine is, I will just apply again next year, and I will just apply again next year, and I'll take a gap year, and I'll get my high school grades and my A-levels grades higher, and I'll apply the following year. And you can see here that it's a very difficult and a very dangerous option to take, because the numbers are only going to go up, both for reapplications and initial applicants. So it's a very, very tough environment, unfortunately, in the UK, but this is relevant to many other countries as well. You know, and a lot of students that we work with around the world are facing similar sort of levels of competition. So moving on from there, we've then got some stats. Again, this is regarding the UK, but it is relevant to many countries around the world at the moment, and a lot of the students that we work with around the world. So this is a good example of what all of these countries can be like. So with the UK medical workforce, of course, they need around 50,000 new doctors just to meet the EU's average of how many doctors they have per 1,000 people. So currently they are taking on as many doctors as they possibly can. If we just pop over now, going on from there. So this shows what the UK is doing at the moment. You can see that the number of doctors, if we're looking back in 2021, because this was the first year that things changed around. So in 2021, the number of doctors that graduated from UK medical schools and registered with the General Medical Council in the UK was around 7,000. But then the international graduates, so EU, you can see there, 2,500, and the non-EU was 10,000. So in total, around 12,500 students actually came from outside, well, not students at the time, but actual doctors had graduated abroad and came to register in the UK in that same year. So we're getting almost up to double the amount now of doctors coming from international, which just goes to show it's becoming a very normal environment now. Similar to what I said before, 10 years ago, things weren't like this. You can even see there on the 2016, the numbers and the figures are much higher for the UK schools, but it's just not the case anymore. One of the reasons is because it's so difficult to get those places in the UK. And in fact, the recognition for coming back to the UK is very open. And this is why a lot of people see this as a great opportunity. So going on from there, we're now going to talk a little bit about what the difference is between a degree that you'd get in Europe compared to a degree elsewhere. Of course, they vary a lot in different countries. The UK, for example, they're typically 5 years in length. The US, 4 years. In Europe, they are usually 6 years, and you would join them straight from school, similar to the UK. So you'd finish your high school or your A-levels, and you'd go straight into the course. And as you can see here, the course is split into two parts. So this is an average. Some of them are slightly different than this, but on average, you're looking at 3 years preclinical, so your theoretical, your classroom-based with your practical sessions, and then you're doing 3 years of clinical experience, and that's what it means there by the practical part of the course. So this is in hospitals, working alongside patients, with doctors, all the clinical experience that you need to become a successful doctor and get a great head start on your medical career and your journey. And you can see here the entry requirements. You have quite often entrance exams, A-levels, diplomas, high school certificates. They are very open to certificates from all around the world. It's best to discuss this with us, and we can kind of go into details with it and work out the correct schools that would meet your criteria. Dental education, very similar, but with dentistry, the degree is between 5 and 6 years, depending on the country. Some countries do require you to do a little bit more clinical experience than others, and that's why you'll find that some of them have a slightly longer timeline than others. Either way, both have fantastic recognition worldwide. You will be submitted to a lot of clinical experience, but again, your first half or just under the first half of the course will be dedicated to theoretical learning, as well as some practicals. With dentistry, a lot of the practicals is working on the phantom heads and allowing you to get to grips with all of that and understand how everything works before moving on again to work with real patients in your later years. Entry requirements, again, similar to what I said before with the medical education. So it really varies depending on the school, but we can help you with that. So nothing to worry about there. Moving on to a slightly more specialized type of entry here, which is the graduate entry. So this is a type of entry that is available to people that have done a relevant college or bachelor's degree beforehand. So it is specifically for those people. They can potentially get some of those subjects recognized from their previous degree, and this will allow them to move into a later year of the program. Now, this only works with a few specific schools in Europe. We can go through those and see if that would work for you as an individual. This is also something that you have to check local recognition for to make sure it meets all of the requirements for your medical council. And going on from there, I believe my colleague Dana will now step in to talk about transfers. Over to you, Dana.
Thank you, Tom. So another very popular service that Medlink offers is transfers. This is for students who have gone to a university and found out that this is not the right university for me, or they're not happy where they are studying. So they ask us, they approach us and ask us, can I transfer my credits from one university to another? Now, majority of the students attending today are students looking to join first year in October 2023. However, we do get the students who want to transfer. So in case you're one of these students, I want to tell you that yes, it is possible for you to transfer. And we have a team of experts who specialize in transfers. But please keep in mind, it's important to know that transfers work based on a case-by-case assessment, because each student coming from different universities has different curriculum, they have different documents. So we will get on a call with you. You can speak to an advisor, and the advisor will guide you and advise you which university would be best for you to look into. But however, if you're one of the students who wants to transfer from one university to another, it is possible. Now, also another very popular question, that we have here to talk about is the tuition fees versus the living costs. This is a very common question we get from students. Students want to know, how much is it going to cost me to study in Europe? How much is it going to cost me to live there? Accommodation. So as you can see in front of you on the screen, tuition fees would range from 4,800 euros per year up to 25,000 euros a year. And on the opposite side, you can see the living expenses per month in every country. Now, a common question I also get asked when we talk about the fees is, students ask me, does it mean if I study in a university that has higher tuition fees, it will have higher quality of education? The answer here is no. The quality of education is not related to the tuition fees. Tuition fees are more related to the geographical location and the economic situation of the country that the university is located in. So if your dream is to become a doctor, we can help you join a university where you can study, focus on your studies, and be in a university that has tuition fees that are affordable without you having any financial concerns deviating you from focusing on your studies. Moving on from here, I'll pass it back to Edmund.
Thank you, Dana, so much for sharing that with us. Now, something we get asked a lot is, how can we guarantee your entry into medical school or even dental school? Now, I'll invite our admission expert, Victoria, who will shed some light on the admission requirements that we have in place to ensure your successful acceptance into the schools. Now, Victoria will also provide you guys with some valuable insights into the education, the dedication and the effort that is involved in the process of getting you accepted. Victoria.
Thank you, Edmund, and hello, everyone. I hope you're ready to embark on a thrilling journey towards your academic dreams, because we at Medlink Students are here to help you do just that. My name is Victoria, and I'm thrilled to be a part of the Medlink Students admissions team. Today, I'm here to tell you about the exciting opportunities waiting for you at the European universities and how our team can help you make your dreams a reality. First things first, let's talk about the requirements. The first and foremost is for you to have a high school diploma or the equivalent document from your country's high school system. European universities are famous for their academic excellence, and as such, most of them expect their applicants to have a strong background in the basic sciences such as chemistry, biology, physics, and maths. However, if you don't have these, rest assured, because there are enough universities that will accept you even without these, because they like to give equal opportunities to everyone. You can always contact our advisors, who will do our best to help you find the university that suits your academic background. For non-native English speakers, some universities may require an English proficiency certificate to ensure that you can fully immerse yourself in the course. But don't worry about all of it. That's why we are here. We are here to assist you with every step of the way. We provide you with provision materials if needed, guide you through the entrance exam, which sometimes include multiple choice questions, open questions, or a combination of both. We are here to also assist you with translating, certifying, legalizing your documents so you can receive your acceptance for the university of your choice. But that's not all. Our team is dedicated to making sure that your application process is going to be as smooth and as stress-free as possible. We are here to create a strong file and prepare your documents before submitting them to the university. And if that's not enough, we also offer interview preparation for universities that require it. We provide you with the questions before that, so you can be fully prepared to wow the interviewers. At Medlink Students, we maintain constant communication with all the universities and institutions involved in the application process. That way, we can keep you updated on the progress of your application and ensure that you receive your acceptance letter for one of the medical universities. So what are you waiting for? Let's help you take the first step towards a brighter future. Our expert advisors are here to assist you with everything you need. Apply now and get ready for an exciting and fulfilling academic journey of studying medicine or dentistry in one of these lovely countries.
Thank you, Victoria, for the hard work that you and the team do on a daily basis, really to help the students, and you guys who are thinking of joining this year to get into your preferred university. Now, I want to invite Tom, who will tell you about some of the top prestigious universities in Europe for the 2023 intake. Tom.
Thank you, Edmund. And yeah, fantastic insight there from one of our admissions representatives. I hope that was a great insight for those of you out there, just to kind of delve into a bit of the process. I know we could talk about it for hours and hours, but that's another thing that obviously we're here to help you with. So yeah, these are some of the top choices from last year. So September 2022, we looked at all the admissions that we'd had, and these came out on top. And for a good reason. Some of these universities, in fact all of them, offer great opportunities, great methods of study, great recognition. I think opportunity is one of the key words, but also variety. There is so much variety between these schools, for example, in terms of the price. So perhaps you're looking at something that's more affordable for you. In that case, somewhere like Georgia or Serbia would be a great option. Whereas some places are more expensive, but maybe you want to be somewhere closer to home. For example, maybe you live in Western Europe and you'd rather go over next door to Poland, or perhaps to somewhere like Hungary. Maybe you want to be in a much bigger capital city. The beauty of it is that whatever it is you're looking for, you can be almost certain that there is going to be a medical or a dental school there that will be right for you. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to go into a bit more detail into what these, some of these different schools, some of the most popular ones that you've seen there. Now, we're also going to be bringing in some of our students. So they're going to be able to talk about their experiences. They're going to be able to tell you a little bit about kind of their courses and what they've covered so far. So, without any further ado, this is the first school that we will talk about. It's Tbilisi Medical Academy. So this one is based in Georgia, in the capital city of Georgia, Tbilisi. Their course, as you can see, is in medicine. There is no entrance exam with this university, just an online interview that's very straightforward. Our students are always very relieved and very happy with that, so I thought I would bring it up for those of you listening. Tuition fees are around 6,500 euros, so it's 7,000 US dollars per year. Cost of living around 550 euros per month on average. There are dormitories available for those of you that are looking for that. There are dormitories for international students. And the next intake is this October. So they still have spaces available. I don't think there's many spaces. I'm sure we can update you on that as and when you get in contact with us. But at the moment, it's still available. So I want to bring on one of our students now, Majid. Majid, are you with us?
Yes, hi, I'm here, yes.
Hi, Majid, how are you?
Quite good actually. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I know it's a really busy time at the moment, but we want to find out a little bit about yourself. So can you start off by telling us what year you're in currently and how you're finding the course?
So I am a transfer student from Ukraine and I am ninth semester, basically fifth year, if you want to call it like that. And I'm doing medicine, basically, at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, great. And how are you finding it?
So far, completely different, from my previous experience in Ukraine. To be honest, I'm truly enjoying the classes here. The teachings, like the levels of teaching here is quite completely different. The teachers, first of all, they know English, they know how to speak English, and that's positive. But second, the level of knowledge is something else, really good. They can any question that you have, any curiosity, anything that you want to know from them, they are ready to help you and they're ready to basically guide you. They teaching skills as well. It's basically what they do is that they will show you a presentation, then they will ask question, and then they will show you the clinical part, which is something that I didn't have in the past, but now I'm having it.
Okay, can you tell us a bit more about the clinical experience there that you're having at the moment?
So basically I started from I'm doing internal medicine, and I'm doing nephrology, GI, gastrointestinal, and I'm doing arthritis pretty much, if you want to call it like that. And so in nephro, we after each class, basically we used to go to the hospital, and we were next to the doctor, and as he was talking to the patient, they were communicating in Georgian. He was translating it to us, and if we had any questions, he was answering, and also we he allowed us to check examination. For example, if you have edema or something like that, your leg, you can press it, just to see, if you have problem with the kidney or something like that, And with the GI, we were doing the theoretical part in the hospital, and after every time I went there after the theoretical part, we were going to the hospital right after, and they showed us basically different things like CT scan, different things, like for example liver problems. Patients, we can talk to them. Yeah, well, so much. And now today I went to see again another patient, thanks to this amazing doctor. She showed us this patient, and she was actually asking the patients questions, and again, like the previous one, from the nephrology part, or kidney. She was explaining, every little problem, that the patient had, and of course we could interact at the same time, if she.
Yeah, I think one of the things that a lot of students worry about is that language barrier. Have you found that to be much of an obstacle? Because obviously you mentioned there the teachers are always translating everything for you. The professors, the doctors are doing live translations between you and the patient. So do you think that's been much of a barrier in stopping you?
So okay, so if you go around the city, if I tell you, a lot of people speak English here. That's the reality. And for example, if you want to buy something, if you go to basically I have a Carrefour, not far from here. if I'm trying to communicate with them, they're really happy to reply in English. And in the university, all the teachers, all the students, of course, they know how to speak English. But some patients sometimes, I think it's rare, but sometimes they only speak Georgian. But the teachers or the doctors, they're ready, they're there to help you, basically. They try to make your life easy, and they are making it easy, to be honest. Yeah.
It's so good to hear. We put in so much effort and so much work into trying to find these universities that will support students just like that. It's not something that people think you can do a quick Google search online, or you can look at a ranking online and you can determine if it's going to be the right kind of school. But you don't know if a teacher's going to make that much effort to be that receptive with you, to be that supportive and that helpful. And it's so great to hear that you're in that position now. You're getting the right level of support. What do you plan to do afterwards? Have you got an idea of where you want to register?
Oh yes, the main reason I came to TMA is because first of all, GMC accepts it, number one, and so I want to take I guess UKMLA it's gonna be after 2 years FLAB, it's gonna be done, but I'm trying to go to the UK. I want to go back there and take my exam and then start.
Fantastic. There is no try. You will do it. We all believe in you. You're putting in so much hard work. So well done. Hats off to you. And I'm glad you've got a school that matches your level of dedication, to learning medicine. They match that with their ability, obviously, to teach you. Thank you so much. We may come back to you again at the end to ask you a few more questions.
Thank Edmund and Daniela. I want to help them a lot, and Victoria. They're helping me a lot. Thanks a lot.
That's great to have that feedback. Thanks, Majid, for sharing that. I'm sure they're all smiling behind their cameras now, so you've made a few evenings there. So thank you very much. Okay, next up, we've got Chigo. Chigo, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Chigo. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine.
Great. Can you tell us what you're studying currently and how the experience is for you?
Okay, so I'm a fifth-year medical student at TMA. I transferred here from Ukraine a few months ago, and just in general, it's basically the same experience Majid just talked about. Like, it's been amazing, and it's been a good decision. When I first heard of TMA, I heard about it from Medlink, and did my research, the usual Googling, like Wikipedia, like, okay, what school is this? And funnily enough, I didn't really find that much information about it. So there was a bit of like initial hesitancy, like, okay, do I go for this? Do I not go for this? But eventually I did, and I like to say that it has been an amazing decision. It's been a great decision. Majid talked about the teachers, and I really like to emphasize on that. The teachers have been like awesome. They speak good English, not like sort of speaking English, struggling, like they speak good English. They are educated, they are knowledgeable. Most importantly, they are hardworking. Like, you can go up to them anytime, ask them questions. Oh, I don't understand this topic. Can you show me this? And they're like completely willing to help you out. Then like just the administration in general, like the staff, like at the dean's office, for example, because it's a smaller school than other schools in Georgia, which I think is an advantage because they have more time for like each student. It's not like thousands of students like going to the dean's office, and like, because like it's a smaller school, like they have time for you, and oftentimes they actually know you personally. Like, they remember you, like, oh, okay, you're the student that like came up last week. Like, okay, where are you at now? And you get, so it's really nice. And just talking in general, like there are lots of extracurriculars here. Like almost every day I get an email, okay, there's a conference tomorrow, or there's a competition, or like there's a sports thing going on, which is
Did
really
you
fun.
did you get involved in any of the extracurriculars so far?
I did go for one conference. Soon I'll go for like maybe a sports competition or something. But it's nice that it's available. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell us some of the ones? I know you're obviously very busy with your education,
Yeah.
but can you tell us about some of the ones that you've heard about from the school?
Okay. So when I went, one of the conference I went for like a few weeks ago, it was basically on arrhythmias. Like they called in like a guest lecturer to like talk about cardiac arrhythmias, and like we did cases and like explanations and stuff. So it was really interactive, quiz at the end of it. It was fun. Other ones I've heard of is basically like some competitions, like sports competitions. There was like an art competition, like to make like medical posters that are educative, things like that. Like there are lots of extracurriculars.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that one from one of the professors at TMA a little while ago. The first time I've heard them, a medical school cross art as an extra activity.
Yeah, like they did
it
like
sounds like it really worked.
Yeah, there was like right now there's like a photography thing going on like around the school. They put like photos of, I think like some of their students went to like the remote villages to like help out and like to train, understand like the intricacies behind like working in remote areas. So like they took pictures and like it's really nice. It's nice.
Fantastic. I'm glad you're having such a good experience. Is there anything that you found challenging while you've been there that you've been able to overcome?
Challenging. I mean, language is always like, a thing like you have to be aware of. It's not, thankfully, it hasn't been too much of a challenge because most people speak English. Like in general, most people speak English. All the teachers, like I already mentioned, they speak good English, but I'm talking about like on the streets, like in the grocery shops, like most people speak English, but even if they don't, like you can always use like maybe like a translator or something. So that's something I kind of had to work around. Yeah. Well, apart from that, I think everything has been smooth sailing.
I was going to say, I was expecting something much more challenging. I think you're having too much of an easy time over there by the sounds of it.
Yeah, you would think so.
They're working around you too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something we always say to the students to put Google Translate on your phone, because sometimes, you can't expect everyone to speak the language. You're always going to have the occasional shopkeeper, especially if they're in an older generation.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to just translate something if you're
Exactly.
asking, where the milk is or for a loaf of bread or something like that.
Yeah.
It's little things,
like in the
isn't
taxi.
it? Little things. And is there anything else that you'd like to share that you think would be insightful so far for people who are thinking about going to study abroad?
Going to study abroad in general. I'll say don't be scared. It definitely seems very daunting at first. Like when I was like applying, there are so many questions like, okay, do I need to speak the language? Do they speak English there? Or like, is the level of teaching, is it good? Is it good enough? But I'll say like, don't be scared, do your research. There's information there, and also Medlink. Medlink helped me a lot when I was applying, because like they have direct associations with the university. So like they have the up-to-date information. So you don't have to like be scrolling through the website or going to Wikipedia, like, okay, what do I need to do? Like they're there to help and, to advise you. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm sure you're really helping some of the viewers now who are in that position, who are really worried, because it does seem daunting. It really does, and
really
we can all relate to that in going to these countries that you're not so aware of. It's such a big step. So Chigo, thank you so much for your insight. You have been so valuable for us. If you're still around at the end, we'd love to hear from you answering a few questions. So if you are, let us know, and we can do that. Fantastic. Okay, so I think we've got another university in Georgia now coming up. Just a reminder, with the last one, Tbilisi Medical Academy, it is still open for this October. But I have to stress that the spaces are getting taken up. They do work on a first come first serve basis with a lot of these schools in Georgia. So if you're interested in going for this October, give us a call, ask as many questions as you like. That's what we're here for. And we'll do our best to help see if it's the right option for you and to see if it's something that is suitable for you. So moving on to the European University in, again, Tbilisi. So this one is also based in the capital city. This one offers medicine and dentistry in English. There is, again, no entrance exam. It's similar to Tbilisi Medical Academy. It's just going to be an online interview. Tuition fees, €4,800 a year. That does vary. It's actually slightly less for dentistry. Cost of living, again, obviously you've got around €550 per month. Once again, there are international dormitories, and the next intake is also this October. Again, working on a first come, first serve basis. Still spaces available at the moment, so you haven't missed out. You don't have to take a whole year out. The opportunity is still here. So I'd like to invite Mia to come and talk about her experience. Mia, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm here.
Hi, Mia. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you, Tom?
Very well, thank you. Very well. So tell us, what year are you in? What are you studying? How are you finding it?
I am now in my first semester in medicine at the European University, and so far I am loving it. I have nothing bad to say about it. There are two campuses that you study at, and it's so easy to navigate between the two campuses. In your classes, the lecturers are actually certified doctors, and they come from their workplace to come and teach you all about their subjects that they are totally in love with, and they just share all their passion and knowledge with you. They will explain something 10 times if it's necessary to make sure you understand. Also, like connecting with other international students, it's so fun because you find out where everyone else is from, you share your culture, and you get to learn about their culture, and you get to explore new environments in the city with them, traveling through buses and metro stations all around the city. Yeah. Also, the citizens are extremely friendly here. They're always keen to help you, to understand you if you want something. Most of them know how to speak English, and they're very keen on sharing their culture with you, so you can learn about their foods, about their traditions, stuff like that.
That Georgian food, I've heard it's pretty good, isn't it?
It's very good, I must say. Definitely recommend.
Fantastic. Have you, one thing that a lot of students worry about that I want to ask you, they're worried because they're going abroad on their own. They're leaving behind their friends, their families, and they're thinking, am I just going to be stuck there? Am I going to get lonely? What's it been like for you? What kind of groups have formed, and how have the other students been with you?
So yeah, I was definitely worried about that as well. I'm originally from South Africa. So when I had my interview, I was told, okay, well, you're going to be the first South African to come to this university. And actually on the very first day at my university, I met a fellow first semester student from South Africa as well. And
fantastic.
Apart from that, I've met students from India, from Lebanon, from UK, all around the world. You connect because all of you are in a new environment, scary environment, all alone, but you share that with each other, you navigate with each other through the new challenges.
How close would you say you are now with the other international students that you started with?
Oh, very, very close. I mean, we've had slumber parties already together. We study together most of the time. You have a practical class each week for each subject that you have. So we study together for each practical class. And yeah, it's fun.
Oh, it's so nice to hear that you've banded in so well with everyone. And this is something that we love to hear. Obviously, we've put in the hard work. We've done our best to help you get there. And to hear that you're having such a good experience on the other end of it is great. And can you tell us a bit about how you found the process with Medlink?
Process with Medlink was very easy. I did not have to worry about anything about contacting the university, as previous students have stated as well. You don't have to worry about getting updated information, scrolling through websites and Wikipedia pages. Medlink helps you with everything. They have a direct contact with the university and on-ground support as well, helping you get from the airport to the hotel you're staying at or to the university, helping you get a SIM card as well to get in contact with your parents and friends at home as soon as possible.
Great. I'm glad that we were able to help you, and I'm glad that you've found it a helpful experience. Is there any advice that you would like to give other students that were in the same position that you were in, maybe just a year ago?
Some advice I would like to give is don't worry about too much. Don't worry about making a mistake. Don't worry about getting lost, because that is how you learn. You learn through making mistakes, and I've gotten lost as well on my way to classes. It's how you navigate the city. It's how you learn the city. You see new places, little shops you wouldn't see when riding in a car or a bus or something by walking. So don't be afraid.
Fantastic. Yeah, actually, that's just reminded me. Another thing that's important to ask is, of course, a lot of people don't know that much about Georgia. It's not a huge country. It's not incredibly well known. So what would you say is the general safety like there in the capital city of Tbilisi?
Oh, I was so pleasantly surprised with the safety coming from a country like South Africa as well. I was scared at first, but you know, when you're on the buses, on the metro, you see small children, probably like 10 years old or something, navigating through the city on their own. No worries about safety at all. You know you're safe. Everyone's looking out for each other. As I said, the citizens are so friendly.
Great, thank you. This is something we've heard before. It's like a community, a giant community of people looking out for each other in Tbilisi. So it's good to hear that each generation coming through, even yourself now, you're realizing that and you're getting to experience that. Mia, thank you so much for giving us your little part there. If you're still around at the end, please join us for the Q&A. We'd love to ask you a couple of questions. Okay, next we've got Louis. Louis, are you with us?
Hello, Tom.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Very well, thank you. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're studying at the moment.
So I'm currently studying medicine. This is my first year, my second semester now, and it's been great. It's great.
Fantastic. So exams coming up for you soon then?
Yeah, next week we will start midterm.
Thank you so much for joining us. Even though you're about to jump into exams, that's such a great level of dedication from you, and we really appreciate that. We really value that.
It's my pleasure.
Great, thank you. So tell us, how prepared do you feel based on the teaching that you've had over the past year?
Well, actually, I am pretty prepared. The doctors are really helpful. They make sure that all of the students they have in each class, they get out of the class understanding the whole material he just gave to the class. They really make our life easier and simpler. We can contact them whenever we want. Most of the doctors gave us their phone numbers. If we need anything, we can just ask them. They make for us some practices before we start our midterm or final exams.
Great. It's so good that you're being so well supported. And how do you feel in the city of Tbilisi? Do you feel like it's a good environment for you to learn and thrive as a student?
Tbilisi is actually a really beautiful city. It's really safe. It feels like home, actually. It's a safe city for students. You have multiple options for transportation. It is a cheap city also, and the citizens are really friendly. And the language barrier is not really a big problem. Most of the interactions I had with citizens were pretty easy. Most of them just speak English.
Okay, great. And what would you say was your main concern when you were a student? No, sorry, before you were a medical student, before you came to Georgia, what were you most worried about, and how did you find it when you started?
I was worried about the language barrier, actually, of the doctors and of the citizens. It was going to be a huge problem, but after 8 months here, I think it's really easy. I don't think anyone should be worried about the language barrier. They are friendly, as I said, and most of them.
Previous position now.
Yeah, actually, thanks for Medlink, for Daniel and Dana. Just don't worry about anything. I was a little bit stressed about the acceptance, about the interview, but they guided me with everything. Also, the ground team really helped me out here. As Maya said, they get us from the airport. They gave me the phone number, the SIM card, and helped me to open a bank account here in Georgia. So just don't overthink it. It's going to be easy and a beautiful experience.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And as I said before, if you're around for the Q&A at the end, we'd love to send you some questions. So just let us know. Another thanks to Dana as well from you there. And also another one to Daniela. Daniela's not with us this evening, but she's one of our admissions representatives that is working around the clock to help students get into the schools in Georgia. So it's great that even a year on, you're still remembering these people that have supported you and helped you. It shows that we're doing our bit, and that makes us really happy to see. So thank you for sharing that positive feedback with us. Okay, I'd like to now move on to Dana, my colleague Dana, who's going to speak a little bit about Poland. Just a final reminder with Georgia, spaces are still available for both of these schools, medicine and dentistry, English taught. If you want to learn a bit more for this October's intake, let us know sooner rather than later, and we'll be happy to give you some extra insight and see if it's suitable for you. Okay, Dana, over to you.
Thank you, Tom. So another very good option we can look at is in Poland, the Medical University of Bialystok. Medical University of Bialystok is located in a city called Bialystok in Poland. They offer a medicine and a pre-med course. It's a 6-year medicine course, and the tuition fees are around 13,000 or 13,500 euros a year. As you can see in front of you on the screen, the university requires an entrance exam. The entrance exam will be covering biology and chemistry to test your basic knowledge in biology and in chemistry. And because we've been working with Bialystok for years now, we've created and prepared material that we will provide to you that if you cover this material, you should pass this entrance exam with flying colors. It's an exam that covers the basic knowledge that you're learning at high school. And the cost of living is around 700 euros a month. And they do offer dormitories for students, and their next intake is in October. Let's take a look together at the features of the campus. The university in Bialystok has great laboratories. The laboratories are very advanced to make sure that the students learn in the best way possible. And they also have very modern classes and lecture rooms. As you can see, the university recognizes the importance of well-equipped classrooms and lecture rooms in fostering effective teaching and learning experiences for students to make sure you're having a great time and enjoying your studies. And of course, the simulation rooms, the university provides simulation rooms equipped with advanced technology to enhance the practical training of its students. And these simulation rooms offer a realistic environment for students to practice and develop their clinical skills. And in addition to the extracurricular activities, taking a look at these, this is the best part that students love about universities and they focus on when they go there, because they don't know much about it before going. The university has 16 different student organizations. They have research projects for students who like to do research, sports associations for students who like sports, who like to do some exercise to release the stress of studies and exams, in addition to the exciting choir, photos, and film agencies, plus the karaoke nights, sightseeing tours, international cooking days. So students get to have a nice experience with the extracurricular activities while they study. And we have with us today a representative, Miss Marta. She's from the International Cooperation Department. Miss Marta, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Hi, Miss Marta. Can you tell us a little bit about the university? I'll let you speak.
Yeah, of course. I work at the International Cooperation Department, and together with two of my colleagues, we deal with admission issues. Bialystok is quite a large city, but it's not too big and not too small. We have about 300 inhabitants. And it is a very green city. We have many bike routes, many parks, and forests nearby.
Marta, sorry to interrupt you, but we can't see you. Can you turn on your camera, please?
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, much better. We can see you now. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Our university offers a high quality of teaching. Our graduates are always among the leading positions in the final medical examination in Poland. Our university is recognized internationally and and accredited in Poland and by international organizations. We have been classified in many international rankings, and students, our graduates, don't have any problems. They after they come back, they can practice medicine in their home countries. They have our students have a lot of practical lessons at the hospital. We have two hospitals, and we have also medical simulation center, as you can see in the pictures. For our student, it's also important that Bialystok is a very safe city. It has always been a multicultural city, and there are many international students. For example, at our university, there are about 400 international students. But also Bialystok is a student city. There are three main big universities, so a number of students is very high. So there are a lot of activities for students, like parties, but also at our university, as Dana mentioned. We organize many events for students, and there are also many student organizations from different countries, and they celebrate their national holidays, for example. We have more than 70 academic circles. For example, like research circles, what is more, we have a welcome center for to help students to in their everyday problems they may encounter, for example, like a language barrier. We have also a virtual walk and also a mobile app which helps students to get around the university. And our university is actually, the seat of the university is actually in the 17th century Branitsky Palace. So you can see it during the virtual walk.
That's exciting. I'm sure students are loving their experience there.
Yeah, I believe so. And the library is also in the main building, but the classes actually are in the modern buildings, not in the representative in the palace.
All right. Thank you very much, Miss Marta. It's been a pleasure having you here.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a pleasure to speak to you.
We look forward for our students to go to Bialystok and enjoy their experience with you over there.
Yeah,
and also,
I would like to invite all the students to apply for our university.
That's right. We still have some spaces left for October 2023. So whoever is ready to hit the ground running, achieving your dream, let's move forward with your application and secure your place. Thank you very much for joining us, Ms. Marta.
Thank you.
And going on from here, we have also a student from Bialystok, Samia. Can you hear us, Samia?
Hello, yeah, I can hear you.
All right, Samia, I understand you're studying medicine at the moment. So can you tell us about your experience so far?
Hi, yeah, I am. I'm currently in the first year. So I just finished this. Yeah, it's almost the exam season now. The experience so far has been amazing from the beginning, from applying till now. It's just been amazing. So for applying, like it was previously mentioned, it's an online interview, but Medlink's provided me with all the documents, with everything, with all the content. And it was on chemistry, biology, and physics, maths as well. So you have to choose 2 subjects and do it. After coming here, I was immediately put in contact with the senior students by Medlink. So she has been helpful to me throughout the procedure, from opening my bank account to settling in, to help me with the dorms and everything. The professors are amazing. You can contact them anytime. They respond immediately via mail. And in general, the environment is very good. The city is very good to live in. You have many options. You can study in the cafes. You have the libraries, which are open on the weekends as well. So overall, it's been very nice so far.
Lovely. Thank you for this, Samia. And if we can ask you to tell us a little bit more about the costs, students usually would like to know about. Now, we've mentioned the tuition fees, but going over living expenses, life in general in Bialystok, can you tell us a little bit more about the costs?
Yes, of course. So Bialystok is a small place. It's not very big. It's not like Warsaw, but it's very nice. It has its own perks. Living here, you can live a very good life, decent life on a very good normal budget. The groceries, there are many options to eat out. You have the pizza place, burger place, everything. And yeah, honestly, it's pretty good. Like, you have many options over here.
Lovely, fantastic. And thank you very much, Samia. From the main reasons why you should study in Bialystok, as we can see here, there's many reasons, but as you see, there's around 13,000 graduate medical doctors. The university partners with 100 and more than 100 other reputable universities worldwide. So we can't wait to have you all join us in Bialystok. Now, moving on from here, another popular option in Poland that we can look at is University in Silesia, the Medical University in Silesia. It's located in a city called Silesia also. They have a medicine and dentistry and a pharmacy course. The university also requires an entrance exam, which is quite similar to Bialystok. Biology, chemistry, where we also have physics, where students get to choose 2 of the 3 topics. And we also provide you with material to help you pass this exam and give you advantage in your application, a strong push. The tuition fees range between 11,000 to 12,000 euros a year, and living expenses would be roughly 600 euros per month. The university is located in a city called Katowice in Poland. And the next intake is October. Now, let's also take a look at the campus features. As you can see here, we can look at the laboratories where you can see the pictures here. You have very advanced laboratories for students to experience their practical experience and medical and scientific research activities. And students get to enjoy this experience with these advanced labs and, of course, the well-equipped rooms. If we look at them here, we see that Medical University in Silesia is well-equipped with rooms and facilities for students, like anatomy rooms, simulation rooms, and others to make sure that students get the best quality of education possible, plus the dental equipment. The university is known for its comprehensive dental program. They have well-equipped dental facilities and advanced, like, for example, if we look at the facilities, we can see they have advanced chairs, the dental x-ray machines, the instruments, to all the other dental equipment to help students get the best quality of education. In addition to the simulation rooms, the simulation rooms are also very advanced to make sure that students are learning in the best way possible and from the best doctors. Moving on from here, we will look at the extracurricular activities that the university offers. They offer field trips, national events, climbing, boat sailing, horse riding, swimming, dancing, a lot of activities for students who like to do exercise and sports. In addition to cooking and painting classes. So if you're an artist, you like to enjoy painting, it's a good exercise to release the stress of studies. And moving on from here to see the main reasons why to study in Silesia, we can see that Silesia is one of the most popular places and many international students go there. And the reasons why they choose this university is because they have more than 2,000 international students that have graduated from studying medicine there. They also have emphasis a lot on the clinical experience. And to add excitement to this, we have a student, Anina. Can you hear me, Anina?
Hi, yes, I can hear you.
How are you, Anina?
I'm good. I'm in exam season, so I'm a bit stressed, but I'm good.
We would like to thank you joining us today during this exam period. So, Anina, I would like to ask you a few questions about studying in Silesia. First question is, do you have to be able to speak the native language to be able to study or choose Poland to study in?
I mean, absolutely not. I mean, every single one of my lectures are in English. Even Polish is taught to us in English. And you'll be surrounded by a massive English cohort. As you've said, there's so many international students. All the professors speak English really well, so they have no trouble giving lectures or answering any of our questions. And the majority of the younger generation here can all understand English. So it's mainly the older generation that is a bit more of a struggle, but we do learn enough Polish in lessons to have basic communication with them. And where I live, people are from all over the world, so Spain, Canada, Turkey, even further. And so it's a really big multicultural site, and they come here to improve their English. So you actually end up learning a bunch of new languages, as well as helping loads of people with their English. So no, I don't think at all it's a problem if you don't know the language. I mean, you'll be here for a really long time, so you will end up learning some anyway, but so many people here speak English, you'll never really have anything to worry about.
All right, lovely, fantastic. And can you tell us a little bit more about your experience with the university? How are you finding the studies?
It's good. I mean, so I'm only a first year, so and the course I do the international course, so it's quite good because obviously it's a really hard degree, but we have a lot of courses that like kind of ease you into it. So like right now, like instead of doing physiology, we have intro to physiology. So it's kind of like the basics of physiology, and they really ease you into the difficult the difficultness of it, I guess. That's not a word, but I'm sure you guys know what I mean.
Yes, we do. And how about the safety in Katowice?
So I mean, it's just as safe as my home in England. Like I see, like mentioned before, I see like little 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds catching the bus to school by themselves. I've never really felt unsafe here. Like there's nothing to feel unsafe about, honestly.
Okay, amazing. Thank you for that. And one last question for you, Anina. What kind of challenges have you faced and how have you dealt with them?
Okay, so one challenge I would say would maybe be the method of learning, because here it's a lot more independent. So a lot more of the learning is through giving presentations instead of being given presentations and taking notes off of them. So like at first, from my classmates and we really weren't used to the method, so it was quite difficult for us to adapt. But we quickly adjusted to it, and it gives us a lot more freedom in how we study, and it really, really improved our public speaking skills. Like I really don't think I would have been able to do this webinar at the beginning of the semester, but I feel like my public speaking skills have definitely improved by the amount of presentations we've been doing in class. And another struggle would probably just be moving away from home and learning to live by yourself. But I hear there's such a big sense of community and everyone is really ready to help anyone that it's really easy to fit in and settle in. And once you realize your parents are only a 2-hour plane journey away, it's not really that scary. Like it takes me longer to get to London than it does for me to get back to my own home. So it's honestly, if there probably were loads more other challenges, but I overcame them all so fast by the help of the people I live with, by Medlink. Like they're nothing for me to remember. Like they're just something that helps us grow, to be honest.
All right, amazing. Thank you very much, Anina, and we really hope you ace your exams.
Me too. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye. We also have with us today another student, Oshma Elsa. Are you here, Oshma?
Hi, I'm here.
Hi, Oshma. Oshma, we want to thank you for joining us today. Also, we know that you're doing exams period. Oshma, do you want to start by sharing a little bit more about your experience in applying abroad and into Silesia?
So, Medlink took care of everything. They discussed what my options were. They discussed the different fees, the different universities, the pros and cons. And you can probably tell from my accent, I'm a British student. So I chose Poland because it's only a 2-hour flight away from home. And it's about, from where I live, it's about half an hour to get to the airport. And there's also on-the-ground support for when you first arrive. They provide you with a cab to your desired location, be it a hotel, or if you want to go straight to the university campus. And Medlink are always available for you to ask questions, which is quite good as well. And currently I'm a first year student. I'm first year, first semester, and I do the international program.
Lovely. And what sort of grades do you need for medicine or dentistry and applying in Europe, Oshma? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So the entry requirements for Europe is substantially lower compared to other places like the United Kingdom, where they would expect AAA or A-star AA and above. So I actually applied with AAB to Silesia, and I didn't have any problems. They just said you can come through, and I had no issues with that. But I know people who've applied with lower grades, and the university does allow students with lower grades to enter because they have like the international program where they start at the more foundations for biochem, maths, the basic sciences. So if you do have lower grades than you would like, you can still apply and you will still get a place.
Yeah, exactly. As we mentioned a few slides earlier, that one of the attractive things to Europe is the flexible admission requirements, and our expert doctors here can create, an admission department can create very strong competitive fight for you to get you in. So thank you for that, Oshma. Another question I'd like to ask you, would you say it's a good idea for a Muslim girl to apply to Poland?
Yes, it's perfectly fine. I was surprised actually when I came to Poland. I thought being somebody who's brown, I would face discrimination or get funny looks. Sometimes people are a bit taken aback. They see, oh, some foreigner here, but they are all very friendly. I remember I was lost once actually on the street. I went the completely wrong way. And this Polish gentleman approached me, he spoke English, and he pointed me in the right direction. So people here are very friendly, regardless of where you come from or what language you speak, they will try and help you.
Amazing. And what would you have to say about safety, students who are concerned about safety?
Okay, so when I first came here, I felt like, oh my God, I'm in a foreign country. Will I be safe? Even when I was back in the UK, I thought, oh, I wouldn't want to go out at night, but I've never had any issues taking cabs. I mean, I always check the number plate, but the drivers are very friendly. They'll help you out. Even the public transport is quite good as well. If you're lost or you're unsure, people will help you. So it is very safe. I haven't seen any crime or any incidents happen in Silesia, so it's quite safe, I'd say. It's probably safer than London.
All right. Thank you for your attendance tonight. I know it's a busy period for you, so I hope you ace your exams too.
Thank you.
And as we discussed about Silesia, it's one of the top universities. Whoever is interested, this is the time for you to apply because they have limited spaces left. And let's move to the next option with my colleague Edmund, who will tell you about Bulgaria.
Thank you, Dana. Wow, what a night, huh? I'm having so much fun over here. I'm so inspired. I actually want to travel abroad and just go study. I hope you guys are having a great time. There's been so many questions coming in. Keep them coming. There will be some time to also answer these questions as well. All right. So let's talk about Bulgaria. Now, I think 1 in 3 students that we talk to either know someone studying in Bulgaria, family member, a neighbor, a doctor. It's become one of the destinations where most students just want to go to. Not far from the UK. They have fantastic medical schools there. And hey, they're recognized worldwide. So one school we're talking to you about tonight is Trakia University. This is in the heart of Bulgaria, in a city called Stradins. Now, they teach different programs there. Now, medicine there is for 6 years. And of course, taught in English. And then you graduate there as a doctor of medicine. The tuition fees are around 7,500 euros a year. They do have an entrance test there. Now, don't worry, as Victoria mentioned, this is something that we prepare you for. So we provide you with all the materials that you need in preparing and acing that test. And as the guys were talking about this evening, that it might seem that it's quite easier to get into Europe, but make no mistake, the medical schools are tough. Medicine is a tough course to go into. So whilst the university has flexible requirements, we also we create a strong file for you because there will be hundreds of students that will be going there. So no matter your grade, let's have a chat and see whether or not you would qualify. Now, applications to Trakia is still open, but don't come to us in August after results day and say, hey, I'm ready. We need to be talking about this right now because the universities this year, a lot of things have changed where they require the application a lot sooner. So if Trakia tickles your fancy, let's have a chat about whether you would qualify. And you can also apply with the prediction grades as well. Now, I can't tell you everything about the school, but what I can do is invite one of our students who's studying there, who's a third-year medical student. Gavin, are you here?
Hello. Can you see me?
Yes, we can. How are you, Gavin?
I'm good. How are you?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for asking. Now, Gavin, can you tell us a bit about kind of your story and pretty much what inspired you to get into medicine and how you ended up in Trakia?
Okay, no problem. So, firstly, I did business and finance in Sheffield, in England, back home. But I hated the office job and I've always been interested in sciences. My dad's a surgeon and my sister was studying dentistry in Plovdiv University, which is also a really good university for medicine and dentistry. I applied for Sofia with the help of Osman. I met him. He was a 4th year at the time. And I passed, and there was a bit of discrepancy, and I also applied for Trakia at the same time. I got into both unis, and I really like had to take some time to deliberate which university I wanted to go to. Sophia was like London, Plovdiv was like Manchester, and Stara Zagora felt like Sheffield. So I felt more at home in Trakia. It's a quieter city. It was a lot more welcoming to students, in the sense that when you're studying in Bulgaria, you're put into groups, and your groups are going to be like your family for the rest of the years, the 6 years. In Plovdiv, you'll be in a group of 20 to 25 people, and sometimes you won't even get a chance to like answer a question because you're going up against competition. Being a medical student, you're competitive. So Stars Agora, my group is 9 people, and I get to talk to patients, help patients. It's just great. That's why I'm here.
Wow. It seems like you've had a journey actually even getting into starting medicine. What was that switch for you? What was it that made you go from wanting to do the course you're doing now to now being in the third year of medicine?
So being from England and knowing how the English curriculum is, you're comfortable. And I will say you are spoon-fed. Like everybody says, you're spoon-fed and you're comfortable in everything you do, and you know how the exam's going to be. Whereas when you come to Bulgaria, when you come into the European countries and you're studying medicine now, it's a bigger leap. You're actually dealing with real life physiology, real life anatomy, and you're learning it so that you can help people. My mom always tells me, when you're studying, study it so that you are able to help me. And it's just motivating that way. So it's like the exams here work as in you get the topics, you get the syllabus, and you have to study everything. You study by yourself, as well as obviously you're taught in class, you're taught in the hospitals, you're taught in seminar exams, you have mini tests, you're trained to be a doctor. You are trained to do medicine, to learn, to love medicine. And it's really nice when you apply that knowledge in your own way to study, because you then realize once you have studied and you're passing these exams on your own accord, it's a sense of achievement, and it makes like you, at first you're nervous for these exams, and you're pulling up to the exam and everybody's nervous. And now I'm in exam period and I'm just sat here thinking, I just have to study. I just have to do what I'm training to do right now, and eventually I will just pass these exams, and everything works out in your hand eventually.
It's funny you say that. That actually ties in perfectly with the question that was asked: is how do you balance? Because studying medicine is very demanding. So how do you balance the study, work life, some activities? How do you balance all of that as a student?
Well, one thing I can say is, let's say the average day, you have an 8 a.m. wake-up call, you've got to be in the hospital, especially in third year. Hospital work, hospital. When you get there, the first thing they do is they sit you down and they teach you the theory. And they teach you the theory so that you've gone through step by step, everything that you need to know. And eventually you understand what you need to know to go and talk to a patient. And obviously the language barrier, you're taught Bulgarian, you're taught how to speak it, how to communicate, and even like the GMC level, like ways of talking to a patient. And when once you've just read it, like you can read it one time and you'll understand it because of how you're taught, especially here in Trakia. I can't speak for the other universities, but here in Trakia, it's like, once you're taught it, you understand it and you can apply it straight away. Afterwards, you can come home, do a little bit of reading, and then I play basketball every single day. And I literally live across the road from the park, and I've made Bulgarian friends. I've played for Bulgarian teams. I have played with my friends against other universities, like student-run organizations. And eventually it gets to the point where it's crunch time for the exams, and you go back to your apartment, you go back to wherever you're staying, and you just read what you've been taught, you practice what you've been taught, and eventually you'll go to the exam. The professors will see, the professors, the doctors, the assistant professors, they'll see, I taught this guy well. I know he knows his stuff. Now he just needs to perform. And it makes exams so much easier like that.
That's great. Thank you. Now, I know it can't just be all great every single day. I'm sure you face some challenges being there. What's one of the challenges that you kind of faced, and for you, what you actually did to overcome this?
Well, moving to a different country, moving to a different culture. Bulgaria, when you meet Bulgarians, you realize that it's a very like raw culture. Like they live they grow their own, they make their own wine in their back garden. They have certain standards to uphold, and it's very different to how it was in England. So one thing I'd say is they've not really seen a lot of people of color, especially in Trakia, because it's like they said, it's the middle of Bulgaria, but they are very welcoming. I'll be walking in the streets and an old man will stop me. I have no clue what he's saying, but then eventually I hear a few words in Bulgarian that I recognize. He's asking me where I'm from, why am I here? And when I tell him, he's like, "Bravo!" It means like, really good. Like, this is amazing. Like, thank you for being here. It's like they're really appreciative. And I would say another challenge is, I would say sometimes the language barrier for dentistry. Like I've noticed that a few people have for dentistry you have to find your own patients sometimes, and eventually it becomes very easy because the university does help you with understanding how to attract patients, and your patients are vital for your learning. But at the same time, especially for me in medicine, you're taught how to handle those situations, and like I've made enough Bulgarian friends to where if I need to find something in Bulgaria by myself, I just have to ring them up. Like I'll give them a message and they'll be there within a few minutes. Especially in Stara Zagora, it's not the biggest of cities, like I said. So like I've got a friend who lives outside of the village of Stara Zagora, and he comes and plays basketball. When I needed help moving apartments, he brought his car and he helped me move. So I would say the language barrier is the main thing, but like you're studying medicine, it's easy enough to learn another language, you know?
Yeah, very, very true. And it seems that you've kind of immersed yourself really into the city very well. It seems that we're getting a lot of students this year looking to do veterinary medicine, which Trakia actually offers. Is there something you know a bit more about that you can share with us?
So as you can see on this, like on the screen, sometimes you see the big university, and that's like Trakia University. Obviously they have medicine and veterinary, but they also have economics and whatnot for the Bulgarian students. And the veterinary course is actually held at the main campus. So it's on a little, like it's about a 10-minute bus drive, and you are at the university. And from the veterinary friend, like the vet friends that I've made, they say it's pretty much exactly similar to what medicine do, but the medics do, but like with animals. So things I've heard, like you can see on the screen, like you see them they're operating on horses. You are there. You are actually there, gloves on, and helping them, and helping the veterinary doctors do that work. I've heard friends in third year have helped cows pregnant cows give birth, pregnant horses give birth. They see such a variety of different animals as well. So like things I've heard from my veterinary friends in the UK, they mainly handle reptiles and cats and dogs and pets and whatnot. And they do learn about other animals, but obviously what animals are in England that you get to see. Here in Trakia, I've seen and heard that in the pathology, when you have to do like the actual looking at of the animals that have passed away, you see dolphins, you see camels, you see things that have been brought to Bulgaria, because Trakia University is the best veterinary school in Bulgaria. It's genuinely like, it's crazy to hear the things that I've heard. And they love life. Like we're all like, because we're all from England and we're all from Ireland and we're all speaking English, all English courses, every time there's an English event, the vets and the medics come together and like everybody's friends. So we help each other out. And to be honest, as much as I do miss home, it's a good experience.
That's brilliant. That's something we actually always say here, is that the happiest students rarely come home. They maybe come home a few times a year, but they barely come home, which is a great sign that you're having a great time whilst you're there. Now, I know, Gavin, last question for you. It must have not just been easy making that decision, just packing your bags and going. You probably were apprehensive, you were anxious about it, excited at the same time. Any advice that you have the students, or even some of the parents that are listening, about wanting to send their kids, or even the students that are listening, any advice you have for them about being worried about taking that step?
So one thing I will say is a lot of people were worried about are worried about the safety in Bulgaria. And as soon as I landed, obviously I had family here. I had my cousin, I had my sister studying in Plovdiv, and I just thought, and I was nervous to go to Chastara Zagora by myself. And as I got in the taxi, there's a taxi driver that we knew, speaks English, and he took my number and he drives me everywhere I need to go in Bulgaria. And one thing he told me was, how many things on the news do you hear about London and Manchester, even Sheffield? How many things do you hear? And I said, a lot. And one thing he told me was, how many things do you hear about Bulgaria? You don't. And to be honest, it's very safe. And I would say that also when you're thinking about taking that step, I was leaving family, I was leaving my girlfriend, I was leaving everything. I was literally leaving everything behind. But when you leave for medicine in England, you're leaving everything behind as well. You're not going to be going home, because in medicine in England, you're at the hospital 24/7. You're working as a doctor and learning on the job. But here, they give you that theoretical knowledge that gives you that edge over students in England. Especially like students that I've met back home, who my friends who are studying medicine, they don't have all that theoretical knowledge that I've been taught. So like, you're taking a risk coming to a different country, having a language barrier, but you're opening more doors to opportunity. Like, because you're an international student, people want to work with you. They want to give you that experience to do research. Like, I've had friends complete research with the university in biochemistry. I myself have had, in Europe in general, I myself have had research in cardiothoracic surgery with people from Leeds and people from Sheffield, and it's actually like, it's opened so many more doors to me, especially when I come home and I see a patient who is Bulgarian. I've studied a bit of Bulgarian. I can communicate with them. When I went to Sheffield University as well, Sheffield Hospital as well, for some experience when I got back, some of the surgeons said it's brilliant that you've gone to Europe, especially Bulgaria, especially Poland, in fact, and Czech Republic as well, because a lot of them have said that the students that have come to them, they want to be medics. Whereas in Sheffield Uni, they had 70% pass rates being turning into GPs. So they have less surgeons, etc. So like, coming to Europe, it really gives you that confidence over people who have just learned in English. You're learning everything from the origin, the Latin, the language itself. You're taking that time and extra effort to make yourself a better person as well as a better doctor, and it gives you those morals to work hard, because not everybody has to be smart to become a doctor, but you have to be able to have that sacrifice to work hard and give yourself those options so that you can become the better doctor and achieve where you want to get when you're competing with other people that have graduated from Cambridge. It doesn't mean anything at that point, because you've worked hard and you know you're a good doctor.
Gavin, I think everyone here will agree that you've been very inspiring for us tonight, and thank you so much. I know it's exam period for all of you guys, so thank you so much for joining us, and we can't wait to see what the future lies ahead for you when you come back to the UK to practice. Thank you once again.
No problem. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, so let's move on to another school. Now, this time we're going to talk about University of Niš. This is the Faculty of Medicine. Fantastic medical school, state school, established in the 60s. Now, they teach medicine there for 6 years too, just like in Trakia. Now, their tuition fees there are approximately 6,000 euros per year. Something about the tuition fees as well for you guys that are listening, these are paid semesterly. So you pay 50% of that each semester. The living cost there, generally you're looking at around 600 euros a month, which is for everything. They do have an entrance test. Don't worry, this is something that we'll prepare you for. We'll give you all the entrance test materials that you need to ace it. We'll create a very strong file for you to make sure that you stand out amongst all the other applicants as well. And better yet, the university's degree is recognized in the UK and many other countries as well. So if you want to go to Canada or the US or Australia or anywhere else, you can use this degree. Now, to tell you a bit about their experiences there, I'd like to invite one of the students, Shinga, to tell us about his experience, really what brought him to Niche, and any advice he has for the students. Shinga?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Very well, thank you so much for joining us. Are you having exams as well as
Yeah, we are.
It's exam period.
Yeah, it's exam season
All right,
everywhere.
well, thank you for joining us. Tell us a bit about your story. Really, what brought you to us and ending up in University of Nice?
Well, it all started from Ukraine when the war started, and I was looking for somewhere to transfer to. So I contacted Medlink and I spoke to the likes of Tom, Dana, and they all gave me information of the possibilities of which university can I go to, which is the best option for me. And they mentioned Serbia. And at first I was sort of a bit apprehensive because I don't really know much about Serbia. But then they gave me a sort of reassurance and provided me more information about the actual university itself. And it made me more intrigued about the sort of quality and what could they offer. So when I got that information, I was sort of more relaxed and comfortable that I'm choosing the right university. So I traveled to Serbia, and so far I think my experience has been pretty remarkable because everything that was given to me turned out to be true. The institutions are top tier. The academic curriculum, it's very good. And the doctors are always available to help you, to assist you, and they're very competent in speaking English. So you don't have any sort of language barrier that people tend to struggle with. All the information that you want to ask them or you need, they'll provide it to you in English, and it's very comfortable for you. Even the city itself, it's not a very big city, so you're not too far away from everything. So if you want to go to town, go to shops, you can literally just walk there. Even if you want to find your own accommodation, it's not too far from the university, literally a 10-minute walk. Everything is pretty much affordable, so you don't really have to be thinking about how much you need to spend because everything is pretty basically cheap here. And then when it comes to the actual curriculum, I think it's really good. It's from comparing it to Ukraine, I think it exceeds everything that I expected it to be. And also when it comes to the practical aspect of it, I think the doctors really do help you to make sure that you understand each and every single piece of detail that you need to know to become an actual qualified doctor.
Wow, thank you so much, Chinga. Now, as you're transferring, which is of course a service that we do, could you tell us about your experience with the kind of the Medlink Students transfer process and how it went for you?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect really because it's my first time transferring, but then I was given all the necessary details of each single step that what I need to do. I need to provide my transcripts, any sort of documents I needed, and then I would literally, a representative of Medlink will take this and literally do the rest for me, and I will just sit back and wait for them to produce the results. So everything was literally comfortable for me. I didn't really struggle or hear anything bad. Everything was very smooth.
Fantastic, thank you. And since being there, you're in 5th year now, right?
Yeah, I'm in my senior year.
Ah, brilliant. So I guess you are now in the kind of the patient contact phase.
Yeah, like I said, they've got quite like top tier health institutions and different sort of hospitals. So you get a sort of a diverse interaction with the patient. So you can go to gastroenterology, you can go to the surgical wards, obstetrics, pediatrics. So you get a good range of medical knowledge that you need to have. And each department has its doctors that can help you to train theoretical knowledge and each practical knowledge as well. So everything is there for you to become like a good doctor.
Fantastic. And are the patients also engaging with you as a student when you're there?
Yeah, when I first came, I had a curiosity for the people as well, and sort of it was reflected back to me. They were also curious to who I am, and I was surprised to find out that most of the people in Serbia, they speak English or a sort of basic English. So when it came to communication, it wasn't necessarily too difficult. And if it was difficult here and there, then you just use Google Translate. But in the patient scenario, I think a lot of the patients weren't able to speak English. So when you're doing a full history for whatever you need to do, you just speak to them in English and they'll be able to respond to you with everything that you want to get.
Oh, fantastic. So it's actually not a barrier when you're with the patient. Of course, the day-to-day.
No, it's not. It's not exactly a barrier. No.
Fantastic. Has there been any obstacles that you faced personally whilst you've been there as a student, and what did you do to overcome that?
I think it was sort of adapting to the new environment, because even though I've come from Ukraine and I've been traveling, it's always a hurdle to start new, start afresh, get to know the environment that you're in, get to know the people, the food, culture, and things like that. But then it reminded me of how I enjoy that. It's an opportunity to learn and get to learn new things about a way of life, culture, different people, and it helps you grow as an individual and helps you to find yourself and challenge yourself of who you are as a person.
Yes, very, very true. Any advice for those students who are starting this year? There are some students that, probably watch this a few times, and, sometimes they take a gap year, sometimes it ends up being two, and they're considering just kind of staying put and not doing much. Is there any advice you have for those students at all?
I think don't be scared. The more you become idle, the more the opportunity becomes further and further away from you. So I think you just have to sort of like build that sort of courage to know that you're taking a step into a better future and a better path for yourself, and don't regret the decisions that you make.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Inga. We know it's exam period, so thank you for joining us. If you're sticking out to the end, there might be some live Q&A, but if not, thank you. We appreciate you, and we can't wait for you to come back home to the UK. Thank you. All righty. So another student that we have in at the University of Niš is the student called Favor, who actually just joined last year in its first year. Favor, are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Now, Favor, tell us a bit more about your background and how you ended up in the University of Niš.
Oh, well, I was in Nigeria before, a university in Nigeria, and then I moved to the UK, and so I had to go to university in Europe, and so I got admitted into Ukraine. But during the war, we had to find another university, and so I logged into Medlink, and they gave me Serbia. I came here to Niš to study at the University of Niš.
And so far, how's your experience been? You only started in October, right?
Yeah, I started in October. It's been about like 7 months right now. It's been actually nice. It's been good. The classes are okay. The classes are better than they were before, better than what I know about.
Fantastic. And for you being there so far, one of the biggest questions or concerns that we have from students, a lot of our students, also from Nigeria as well, some of them are from the UK, but they're also Black students. We have a lot of ethnic minority students that are concerned about going abroad in general.
Yeah.
How have you found the diversity being in Serbia?
Well, there's not a lot of black people here. We are not too many blacks around. Or I was thinking that the people kind of like not really talk to blacks and stuff like that, but they're actually really nice, and many of them are very nice to you. And when they see you, they're like, "Oh, it's like you come for sports or something like that," and they really just want to take pictures with you, say hi, and go around, talk to you, and stuff like that.
Fantastic. And what sort of challenges have you faced being in Serbia?
I'm used to a hot environment. This was cold, kind of cold when I came here, or maybe a month or two. I was really cold, but yeah, I was able to get okay with it and get used to the cold weather in this place. Also, the language barrier. Not all the people speak English here, just the young people. The old people don't really speak English, and so I've been able to use Google Translate. I use Google Translate a lot. That's like the app I've used a lot in the past. But yeah, I've been able to speak English with some of the young people because they do learn English in like their primary and secondary schools. So the young people, yeah, I've been able to speak with them very well in English, but not the old people. But it's still okay. But I still use Google Translate like in supermarkets. When I go to buy some things, I use the pictures and stuff to translate my things so I know what I'm getting.
Yeah, fantastic. And I suppose being there, eventually you will, settle in terms of learning the language a bit more and being familiar with certain words. Is there any advice that you have? We also have students also watching us directly from Nigeria, Ghana, from South Africa, who are also aspiring medical students. They want to become doctors just like you. Any advice that you have for them? Because they'll be traveling thousands of miles as you've done just to come abroad and study. Is there any advice you have for those students?
Yeah, I'll just like I want to tell them that they should just like go for it. Like many people are very confused, they are very contradicting, they are conflicted on whether to come or not. Well, I just want to tell them that yeah, they should do it so as not to regret later, because some people in their mind they think maybe their age, maybe they are old, or some people think it's very hard. Like studying medicine abroad is very hard, but nah, it's not as hard as studying back in Nigeria. Well, they make it very easy for us. They make it very nice for us. Our classrooms and our teachers make the learning very good for us so that we'll be able to understand very well and adequately. Because our practical equipments are so good because it's very nice being able to see what you are doing. Like you go for anatomy practicals, you're able to see the heart, you're able to see the lungs, you see the bones and everything. When you see all the structures, it makes learning about 3-4 times easier. So learning this school has been very nice, and I would like to advise people that they should come here because it's really been good and easier than doing stuff in other universities.
Fantastic. And finally, as you've come through Medlink Students, the process, how did you find the overall process, the application cycle, from you coming and speaking with us initially, taking that step, to now being here and talking to us on a webinar?
Yeah, so it was actually really smooth. It was a really smooth process as I didn't really do anything to the school. Like I didn't contact the school until I was in the school year. Medlink was like the middleman. I gave my documents to them, I gave my papers to them, and then they helped me apply, helped me register, translating to my documents. Medlink really helped me to do everything. It was really just me giving them my documents and kind of like reading for the entrance exam, because I was presented with papers to read for entrance exam, and so that's what I had to do. Just from there, and even coming down to the school, they had someone help me with the school, help me come to the school during the airport, come from the Belgrade to Niš. Doing sorting out my papers, the international students office, Medlink has someone here who helped me to put all my papers in order and helped me to do everything together.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Favor.
Yeah.
And we know it's exam, so thank you for joining us and spending your evening with us. And we can't wait to see the future that holds for you and your medical journey. Have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, so let's move on to the next medical school. And this is Riga Stradins University. This is a university in Latvia. It's located in the beautiful capital of Riga. It's a wonderful cultural, full of culture. Now, they offer medicine for 6 years, and you graduate there as a doctor of medicine. Dentistry is 5, which then you graduate there as a doctor of dental surgery. You don't need to worry about preparing for an entrance test. Everything is based on the merits of your application. So this is where our admissions team will create a very strong file for you to ensure that you have the highest chance of acceptance. Now, the tuition fee for medicine is 12,500 euros per year. For dentistry, you're looking at 14,000 euros for the first 2 years, and then it goes up to 15,000 for the remaining 3 years. Now, the cost of living ranges really from 600 to 800 euros per month. That includes everything. Now, Riga has 2 intakes a year. They have a September intake, and then they have a February intake. We've already started applications for both intakes, really, and it's going to be a first come, first served basis. Now, to tell you more about the university, we've actually invited one of our the university's representatives who will tell you a bit more about the school, the processes, and really everything that you need to know about Riga Stradins. It's a beautiful school, fantastic university. We have Agnes with us. Agnes, are you here?
Hello, Edmund. Yes, I am. Thank you for this introduction. Happy to participate. Hello, everyone. Hello, dear colleagues from Medlink. Yeah, so could you please move on to the next slide for me? Edmund already gave a brief introduction about the university, and I will tell you a bit more about that. So the medicine program is 6 years long. And the dentistry program is 5 years long. So for dentistry program, the first year is theoretical. So we want our students to have a theoretical base, but at the same time, we want them to have a very hands-on and practical experience in their studies, which is why on the second year of dental studies, the dental students already entered their preclinical year, which is at the RSU preclinic that is located on our main campus. And so each student, they have their own workstation, they have their own head of the mannequin that they work with. We also have 3D technology where the students use different scenarios and they go through, and they can also identify possible mistakes. So this is, again, as I said, very hands-on experience and very practical one that they have. And so in the third year, that's already the clinical year, which is when the students start working on real people. So they have prepared for that in their preclinical year. So in the third year, they have practical classes at the Institute of Stomatology, but they also treat patients. And our dental students are, of course, in this process assisted by our very professional teachers and professors who not only speak English. I must also mention that the professors at RSU, both in dental and medicine programs, are not only academics, they're also practicing professionals. And they are supported all the way in this throughout all their years. And for the medicine program, again, the first couple of years are more theoretical, and then they are moving on to the preclinical subjects, and they have also then classes at the Medical Technology and Education Center, where we have a lot of high-tech simulation technology. And again, the students get to go through different scenarios and use our equipment and really get to experience the almost the real-life situations. And also we have these patient actors that come into the technology center to really create that feeling of treating an actual patient. Sometimes, the people who participate as patient actors, they might, behave in a certain way as in real life. Sometimes encounter people that are maybe not so happy about something, or they don't want to, I don't know, do something that the doctor is advising them to do or telling them to do. So it's a very, again, very practical experience that they have. And then the medical students during their last years, they have the clinical rotations, and this is something that they do not have to, find on their own. So the university assists them in this. They can have clinical rotations not only in some of our leading hospitals in Riga, where also, by the way, they have classes during their studies, but they also can do their clinical rotations in their home country. And we also have cooperation, international cooperation with clinics in Germany, in Israel, and in Italy as well, where we have students go there to do one part of their clinical rotations. And our diploma is, of course, recognized worldwide. We have had international students at RSU for 30 plus years already. And we have a very international environment at RSU, and I would say that it's just growing and growing. And we have over 70 countries represented in our student body. And about 27% of our students at RSU are international. So you could say that each fourth student that you meet at RSU is an international student. And yeah, we have a very colorful, dynamic, active student life. This includes the big International Student Association, which of course represents the rights and the interests of our international students, but they also have a say in, in some decision making in our university. And besides that, our students can take part in different associations based on different aspects. They can join, for example, associations based on nationality. So we have the German, the Swedish, also the British and Irish societies. And besides that, it's not only a socially, culturally engaging environment that they are in. There's also the possibility to be academically engaged. So we have these academic societies. So if a medical student is interested in a particular medical subfield, such as, let's say, plastic surgery, just as one example. So they can join this academic society and join with other students. And it's a very, very nice addition to their academic life, because in these academic associations, they have guest lecturers coming from abroad. They have workshops. They have they also, what happens is that they, learn more about research. The students also cooperate with some professors and some professionals to produce research papers, and then they go to conferences, both in Latvia and also abroad. And we also have the annual International Student Conference. So this is the kind of conference where we have leading medical professionals coming from all over the world to present. And during this week, we also give the opportunity to our students to take part in the International Student Research Week, where they are presenting their academic work. And not only are they presenting, but there are academics who are listening to them present, and they are giving their reviews and their comments. And this is, a very great opportunity for them to have this great academic experience for the first time. And this is what we are providing them at RSU. And moreover, we do understand that it might be sometimes difficult being an international student when you move abroad and you do not know other people. And I know myself, I have also been an international student before. And so we do deal with our students with empathy, with understanding. We want them to feel welcome. We want them to feel like they belong at RSU. And one of the ways in how we help to integrate our students is firstly that we have the mentor program. So this means that the newly admitted students, they can apply for a mentor, and a mentor is a student from older semesters who has had some experience at RSU about studying. They have themselves, maybe had some challenges, and then they are helping this newly admitted student with, starting from practical things such as, picking them up at the airport, or maybe giving some advice on how to find an apartment, or helping them, understanding the schedule or the My RSU app where the students, can see all the information, things like that. And we also have the orientation week, which is 1 week prior to the beginning of the study semester, where we have all the newly admitted students. They come to Riga, they come to RSU, and we have a very, very great week together where the students, they meet their study group. At RSU, we have smaller study groups, so it's usually 8 to 10 people at the dentistry program in one study group, and for medical students, it's usually 12 to 14, sometimes less, in one study group. So it's it's a very personalized approach in that way. And so during orientation week, they get to meet their peers, and we want to make sure that they begin their studies with ease, with confidence, that they feel certain about what is the next step, how to get around with things, what are, how to use the public transport. We help with all of these practical things, and we have different presentations that we give, for example, about safety in Riga. We have someone come in and talk about that. We have a presentation about health, how to go around these things, these very practical and important things that we need in our everyday lives. And of course, there are different activities that the International Student Association are organizing for the students, so they can socialize and they can, just really have a very fun time together. And I also would like to invite anyone who is interested in studying medicine or dentistry at Riga Stradins University to come and visit us at RSU and join our open days. So the remaining 2 open days that we have for this semester are on 2nd of June and 16th of June. And we usually have our potential applicants who come together with their friends, with their family, and we show them the campus, we show them the clinical classrooms, we show them the technology and simulation center, to give them really that feel of an experience of how it would be if they would study at RSU. And I can tell you that last week we had, on Friday, we had the open day, and I was speaking with one father of a Swedish student who, already received his offer of study place. And the father told me, after seeing this, I am just so relieved. I am so relieved because we totally understand, that parents might be worried a little bit about, where their kids will go off to study at. I mean, it's moving abroad. It's very, it's exciting, but it can be, sometimes worrying. So it was, the parents, they come together with them to the open days, and it really gives them the impression that, yes, this is a safe, this is a well-equipped, very highly academic and professional environment where the students can grow. They can get enough theoretical knowledge, they get a lot of practical knowledge, and at the same time, they have a very engaging social life. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think after hearing what you were saying now, I want to go there. I actually want to just go and study there this year. I don't even have to be a student. Just take me in the orientation just for the week. So I can
You are welcome to visit us, really. You are. I would be happy to meet you in real life.
Yes, would love to. So as you were talking, I think one of the questions that popped into my head, which lots of students ask, which you mentioned, is the recognition. Does the university help with any kind of licensing exams students might take, like USMLE, for example, or any national exams that you support with? Is there something that's offered?
So the diploma acquired at RSU is worldwide recognized, but when it comes to assistance with exams after they graduate, this is not something that RSU does.
Brilliant, thank you. And is there any, as you mentioned, mentoring, is there anything like counseling for the students that perhaps might be struggling or underperforming? Is there anything in place for students like that?
Yes, definitely. So we have the Career Center that has counselors that can offer psychological help and counseling to our students. And these are not only individual sessions that they also offer group sessions. And, this is for students who might be feeling, stressed or overwhelmed during their studies, or maybe they just need, some guidance academically, or just, they need someone to talk to. Yeah, we do have that.
Fantastic, thank you. And finally, for you, any advice that you have for the aspiring students that are considering perhaps coming to RSU? Is there any advice you have for them? Some of them are considering coming, some of them I'm not sure. Any advice at all?
I would assume that, most potential applicants that would work with you are A-level applicants. So I would advise, because we do not have entrance exams, we would look at your final A-level grades. And these grades have to be in subjects, biology and or chemistry, and in mathematics. If it's not mathematics, then we would need physics. And this grade has to be at least a C. So I am saying this because the students choose, which exams they should take or not take. So these are the ones that we would ask for. And another thing besides that, I would just advise to really, as I said, open days, to come and visit us and see for yourselves. It's nice to have this opportunity to talk about our university virtually, but seeing it in real life is much greater, I think. And we always have our students who join the open days who, can chat with you and can answer some of the questions that you may have about life in Riga and studying at RSU.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for spending the evening with us. Really appreciate you spending that time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great evening.
You too. Thank you.
All right. So let's move on. And something that we get asked is, well, how do you help with all of this? Well, our services are actually quite streamlined. We have such a streamlined approach in helping you find your perfect university. And yes, there is a perfect university for every single one of you. And that's from handling the documents to assisting with settling in and providing you with ongoing support until you actually graduate from the school. Now, a lot of our students are very family orientated. So we know it's not easy just packing your bags and eloping to a new country that you've never stepped foot in. So we have to ensure that you are guided in every step of the way. And really, the first step in our process is a simple phone call. One of our knowledgeable student advisors will basically have a phone call with you, or even a video call, and go over your requirements and take into account all the individual preferences that you have, including your budget, to your personality, to specific interests that you have, into any medical programs or dental programs you're looking for. And based on the information, we'll provide you with a personalized suggestion, which is tailored to your needs as a student. The main goal really is to ensure that the university that we recommend would align with your criteria, so that you can actually be happy studying there. Now, once you've decided on the university that best suits you, we get started in the application officially. And that's where our dedicated admissions team will kickstart your documents in preparing the application process to make sure everything goes smoothly for you, to ensure that you have a great and efficient experience. And to help you prepare for all the required entrance exam and any English proficiency requirements, we give you comprehensive materials that you need, past papers, interview questions, whether it's practice tests, language supports, you name it. It's just to help you boost your chances. And throughout this process, our team is always available to provide you with support, answer any questions, address any concerns that you have. Now, rest assured, we are here to guiding you in every step of the way. So even if it's 10 o'clock and you have a question, our team, there's always someone that can help you, be confident to help you throughout. Now, when you are accepted, we're not just going to, congratulate you, wish you all the best, throw you into a new country and you survive all by yourself. We understand that transitioning into a new country can be quite overwhelming. So this is why we have an integration of settling in and a service really that helps you be comfortable when you get there. So when you arrive at the airport, we get someone to pick you up, making sure that you have a warm welcome, to really eliminate any of the worries that you have about transportation, getting a taxi. And then we assist you in finding accommodation, which meets your budget, and to help you actually settle into your new home. And then things like, getting medical insurance, our team are here to kind of make sure that you have all the process, that bit sorted as well. And we help you establish a good network because, hey, we have to introduce you to other students that are there, from British students to Irish students to students from Africa and students from India, Pakistan, from European students as well. And this connection really provides a support system, and you create a community when you're there so that you can engage with other students that are doing the same thing, going through the same challenges of studying abroad. We also assist you in opening a local bank account, even get a local SIM card, and we help you get acquainted into your new surrounding. We take you on a mini tour, and as the lady from RSU was saying, you get orientation week. This basically allows you to familiarize yourself with the key locations, the landmark, any amenities, to really feel a lot more settled in. Now, this integrating settling in service is designed to help you basically feel at home, so you don't feel so lonely when you go over there, providing you with all the necessary supports that you need throughout the year and your journey to make sure you come out as successful. Because when you're successful in your journey, so are we, and that's all we're here for. Now, I know you guys have been asking a lot of questions, and thank you for sticking with us. We are now going to go through a lot of the Q&A that you've put together. We're going to answer a lot of them. So I will really invite back my colleague Dana to go through the Q&A sections and answer any questions or concerns that you had coming in. And thank you again for sticking with us.
Thank you, Edmund. What a day. A lot of questions are coming in. We have a lot of students asking questions. We will try to go over as many questions as we can. To start with the questions, one of them I can see here is, can tuition fees be paid in installments? And what time of the year do you do exams usually? I think the best person to answer this would be Mia. Mia, are you with us?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, so can tuition fees be paid in installments? A student is asking this question in Q&A. Can tuition fees be paid in installments, and what times of the year do you do the exams?
So tuition fees can be paid in installments. You can pay it twice a year instead of the once a year payment. So the payment would then be half the amount that was listed in the webinar. And yeah, the exam times, next week we start with midterms, which are 2 weeks time. And then in August, beginning of August, we have our final exams, which are also 2 weeks long.
All right, lovely. And another question I have here, thank you, Mia. And by the way, guys, I'm receiving a lot of questions, and for those that haven't had the chance to ask your questions, you can click at the bottom Q&A and write your question, and we will try to answer as many as we can. Another question I see here is, what do you mean Medlink creates a strong file for you, and what does it consist of? That's a great question, by the way. I will answer it myself since I'm an advisor. What we mean by we will create a strong file for you is we have a team of expert admissions and doctors that have been doing this for years, and we have our ties and connections. We speak to the universities directly, so we know what usually universities require, how the documents are made in a perfect way where there's no mistake or missing stamp, especially that applying to Europe, there's a lot of legal paperwork, translations, legalizations, notarizations. It's a long process that you will need an expert with you to make sure you don't end up missing a document or missing a stamp that could affect your file. So Each university requires a specific list of required documents. There's no, one part of the question, what does it consist of? Each university, we have our team of experts who specialize with this university. Moving on from here, during holiday periods, do you travel home or stay? I would like to invite our student Chigo. I think you're best to answer this. Are you with us, Chigo?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So Chigo,
Yeah.
can you tell us a little bit more about holiday periods? Do you travel home or do you stay in Georgia?
Whichever you'd like, really, like you have your period of holiday depending on your school. Like it's usually like summer holiday from August, July, August, for example. So you can choose to stay in Georgia. You can choose to go out. You can go back home. You can travel. Me personally, I like traveling, so I could go to US. I could go to a different country. Depends on what you want. Yeah.
All right. So how often do you get to travel? How many times a year?
Oftentimes you don't really have like your winter holiday isn't very long, so you might maybe travel within the country if you want to. But it's mostly for summer holiday that you travel.
All right. Lovely. Fantastic. I'm sure students will be relieved to hear that they will get to visit their families and go during also Christmas holidays. All right. Thank you a lot, Chigo. Moving to the next question, what was the entrance exam like or the interview? Luai, are you still with us?
Yes, Dana.
All right, Luai. I have a question here. I think you're great to answer it. What was the entrance exam like or the interview? And did you have to know the language before going to Georgia?
So actually, the European universities and most universities in Georgia doesn't require an entrance exam to enroll with them. The interview was via Zoom. You meet with an interviewer from the university. He asks for your passport. He asks you some questions to know how good is your English language, what's your educational level. And they get back with you about after a week or so. According to the language, no, they doesn't require from you to know the Georgian language. Just if you know English language, you have a good background about biology, because he might ask you some questions. You are good to go.
All right, lovely. So you haven't struggled with not knowing Georgian language when you arrived there?
No, and actually the university is giving us some classes to learn the Georgian language.
Okay, fantastic. I think that's a great thing to be having the opportunity and the support and the help from the university teaching you the language to help you in your daily life. So yeah. Thanks, Luai.
Thank you, Dan.
Can I apply with a BTech? Edmund, would you like to answer this?
Yes. All right. So BTech, it depends. And that's the answer. It depends on the type of BTech that you have. Now, there are some universities that will accept it. Some of you students that come to us have BTech level 2, BTech level 3. We need to really see what you have in order to ascertain. But there are some schools that we can apply for you in Europe this year that you could apply with your BTech. And also, some universities will require your BTech, and if you have GCSEs as well, that combines, it gives you a very strong application. But it really depends on what you have. We would need to see exactly what BTech you have and understand that. So you can send it through, we will assess it, but don't worry, it doesn't mean you can't do medicine or dentistry. There will be a university out there that you can apply with that.
All right, thanks for that, Edmund. I have a question here. How was it like relocating and finding accommodation and settling in a new country. I would like to call out Shinga. Are you with us? Shinga would be great to answer this.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, Chigo, okay.
Oh,
Coach, can you tell
did you
us
call me or Shinga?
Sorry?
Did you call me?
Chigo, if you'd like to answer this question, that would be great. How was it relocating, arriving to a new country? Basically, was it a struggle for you to settle in, or was it smooth?
Personally, for me, it was smooth because for Medlink, you have on-ground support. So there's like a person that literally like goes everywhere with you, like helps you like open a bank account, gets like a SIM card, get registered at school. So for me personally, it was like really smooth, really easy. Getting an accommodation, for example, like whether you want to stay in the dorms or you want to go for an apartment. In my case, I went for an apartment. Yeah, it's pretty smooth. Yeah.
All right, lovely. So you would say that it was easy for you with the support of Medlink on ground to find an apartment. Can you tell us a little bit more about accommodation? Because I think students are a bit curious to know what kind of apartment they would get or where they would live.
Okay, so here in Georgia, you can choose between the dorms. You can choose for apartments. So it depends on like each choice has like its advantages, disadvantage. In my school, we have the opportunity to choose dorms. There are different selections, like single room, or you could share with someone, and it often comes with like meal choices. So like breakfast, dinner. But I chose accommodation because it's more flexible, like you can cook and do whatever you want. And yeah, so it depends on your needs. Like you should definitely discuss it with like your school, like, okay, what are the options available? And like, what are the details? How much does it cost? Cost is another thing, because oftentimes the apartments are more expensive than the dorms. So you just need to decide on what you want. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Chigo. Yeah. Well, the last question we'll go over is, I have a student asking here about racism. They're concerned about racism and they're asking, how is it over there being an international student? I think Shinga, you're still with us.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Can you tell us how are you finding it in the city? Do you see any racism, or are they quite friendly with students, international students?
Well, I've been here for 1 year exactly, so I haven't experienced any sort of racism. And to be honest, when traveling, you always want to be careful and aware of the environment that you're in and the type of people that you're interacting with. But in Serbia, I think people are very respectful and they appreciate the sort of diversity of where you're from and what sort of culture you can show them and what sort of culture they can show you as well. So there isn't really any racism to worry about. But however, I still am aware that in every country there's always good people and bad people. So you should be aware of these kind of things and don't be surprised if you encounter some people like that. It only shows that they lack a bit of awareness and education.
Okay, and what would you say about diversity? Do you see students from different backgrounds, different ethnicities over there?
Yeah, so far, since I'm coming from the UK, there's a lot of diversity there and it's almost sort of familiar here. So a lot of people from Asia, Europe, Africa, South America as well. So there's quite a lot of diversity and you get to interact and mix around a lot, and it sort of like brings us more together because we always want to share things with each other.
All right, fantastic. Thanks a lot, Shinga.
Appreciate it.
I'm very sorry to say that we have come to the end of the webinar. It was fantastic today. It was very fun. We've had fun hearing from all the students about their experience. And we still have a lot of questions coming in, but unfortunately, we can't go over every question. It's like hundreds of questions coming in. So what I would say is whoever has a question that we haven't went over, feel free to scan the QR code on the screen, and we're happy to have a free one-to-one call with you to answer every single question you have. And I know that after watching this webinar, we have, or you might have some questions or concerns. You might be wondering, how much is it going to cost you to study in Europe, or which universities you're eligible to apply to? Some also here might be considering taking a gap year and reapplying in their home country. And maybe most of you are worried about not achieving the grades or the predicted grades that you are expecting to get or you have at the moment. So whatever your concerns are, we're here and we're happy to guide you and help you. It only takes one phone call from you, clicking the button to book a call, and we will guide you to go over some of your questions and listen to the preferences that you have about studying in Europe. So feel free to scan the QR code again and book your call as soon as possible so we can go over every question that we couldn't go over today. Lastly, I would like to thank all the students that have taken the time today during a busy period, exam period, to come and share their experience with you and answer a lot of your questions. Also, I would like to thank the university representatives that have joined us today and helped students understand what to expect when they go there. And a big, huge thanks to all our future doctors that are hungry and passionate to achieve their dream and become doctors. You have taken the first step towards achieving your dream, and let's take the next step together by looking into what options you have. And as I know from speaking to students, we speak to a lot of students, we know that it's a big step for you. You're concerned and worried, you don't know how Europe is, maybe you haven't been there. But as you've seen from all our passionate students who came today to share their experience and to show you that going to Europe is quite a nice adventure, it's a nice journey, and they're loving their experience, and you will love it too. And I know that you guys have the courage, and if others have done it, you can do it. Let's have you started on your journey on becoming doctors this year. Don't forget to book your call and scan the QR code. Thank you very much for everyone joining us today and all the students. Have a lovely evening.